what makes it difficult for some of us as diplomats is that we've just gone through orientation and we've been given KPIs. The KPIs, we need to achieve them because there's a reset agenda that has to do with diplomacy as well. And I believe that ambassadors are supposed to go out there, get people to come and invest in the country and all of that. So when it happens like that, it becomes a bit challenging. But I can assure you that the President John Dramani Mahama we know and his administration, I am sure that in the days and weeks to come, we'll get...
Why is it difficult for anyone in government to just ask the communications minister to at least tone down? Is it because he's confident that, well, this is the only way out?
The communications minister is not just operating in a vacuum. He has indicated as to pricing policies in the sub-region. He believes that we are not getting value for money. He believes that we are paying more than we are getting. And I think that the first communique that came from MultiChoice, they also indicated that there are certain operational costs that they are incurring. That is why it's going to be difficult. In fact, in their first release, they indicated that they were going to consider reducing prices, but not under the time frame that the Minister of Communication has given. But I believe also that the Minister of Communication also believed that over the years, they've been able to take more and have given us not the kind of service that we want. I think that the Communications Minister, we all know him, he wants to enforce the law, and I believe that we'll go to him and passionately appeal with him that this is the Africa we want. This is the trade we want among ourselves. You see, the good thing is that when he did it with MTN, quickly it was resolved. MTN also has got its roots from South Africa, and it was resolved. So I can tell you confidently that South Africa is not happy to have a trade war with us when it comes to MultiChoice. They want to get this resolved, and according to what the minister is saying, I'm sure that we'll get it
Some say we shouldn't even worry as Ghanaians because whatever the case, MultiChoice is... And thanks for staying with us on Joy Prime. This is Prime Insight. So let me tell you about my guests helping us to do the conversation for today. Ivan Chase, youth activist, has always been on the show. Thank you, Ivan, for spending time with us this morning. We have Nanaya Jantua, who's a presidential staffer. Fatima Abubakar is the former Minister for Information, all joining us this morning. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for joining us. And of course, I'm much more excited because last week we got a lot of backlash that you don't allow the women to come on the show. So it's good to have all of you join us this morning. Then we have, as usual, studio audience who always come in, student leaders from the universities, also some of the interest groups. It's always good to have all of you join us. Paul Amwako is Deputy Spokesperson for the Alliance for Food Soldiers Advocacy, AFA. Kamal Bruni is also with that group. He's, in fact, the spokesperson joining us this morning. We have Amantana Said Mashoud, who's from the University of Ghana. He's coming here with a lot more colleagues. There's Said Sulemana, Ramzi Idris Sulemana, and Iman Napasi, all joining us this morning. We also have Julius Selikem from ATU, who's also in the audience, and Sulemana Ibrahim Musa, who's Chief Clerk at the University of Ghana Parliament, I understand. He's a big man, isn't it? Okay, so good morning to all of you. And in the last few hours, MultiChoice has just come up, the DStv issue has just come up, and so probably we'll just brush that off quickly, and then we move into the Chief Justice removal and all of that. Ivan, what do you think? The concerns that now the South African authorities are concerned about what's happening, and the diplomats are asking that we tone down. What do you think?
Yes, good morning to your viewers and everyone around. I think it's quite a bit complex of an issue that we need to resolve. Because if you look at how this whole thing is unfolding, it's a complex tale of some sort of diplomacy and some public sentiment being fueled by a certain rage among Ghanaians. Right. And I think that is a legitimate concern that has to be addressed. You might not like the approach, especially the grandstanding position by the minister on social media. I think it's a bit quite unfortunate.
You're calling it grandstanding? Really?
I support the reduction in the prices. But you see, because there is a bit of diplomacy in some of these things, I think the approach should be a bit less the way we say it. That's my position. Because MultiChoice in recent time has been going through the same pricing cycle in Africa. recently it happened in Nigeria. It was resolved in court. And I think that, you see, some of these things point to a structural weaknesses that we've always been complaining about, because we shouldn't be having this kind of a discussion. For me, I think that if we have systems and structures in place, some of these things will be taken care of by the system itself. You will not have a minister engaging directly with a multinational company, this back and forth. So is it going to be that the next time from, how do you call it, MultiChoice, we are moving to MTN, and then another? Do we have systems in place that take care of some of these things? So I think these things should not be an individual fight.
The minister is much more concerned about disrespect, isn't it? He says, well, it's about regulation. MTN had a similar problem. It's been resolved.
Yes.
What's so difficult for MultiChoice to just join the committee he says he was forming?
I think disrespect, it depends where you stand and how you want to say it. But for me, I think we should focus on the issues at hand and get all the parties involved and have this particular issue.
Do you think it was right for MultiChoice to come out publicly to say, well, we didn't agree on a price reduction with the minister?
It was highly unnecessary. Maybe they also wanted to clarify it, but it was highly unnecessary, because I think what is important for now is resolving this whole thing, because as we speak, there are a lot of subscribers in Ghana who have already paid their money. So if this particular service is truncated...
Oh, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about
yes.
that. Yeah, so some people have paid for yes, subscriptions already.
Yes,
yeah.
And today there are matches. So are you going to compensate them for that? So you see, it's a whole lot of... It's a complex thing. That is what I'm saying, that we need to just be very diplomatic in our approach and make sure that it's a win-win situation, because at the end of the day, the people of this country will become victims within this temporal period that this thing is taking off. You understand?
This is not the first time the minister has moved on the issue of price reduction. He did that with the telcos on the issue of the data.
Yes. Yes.
He secured that for us. Ghanaians were happy.
Oh yeah,
In fact, I'm using one of these bundles.
Yes, I'm all for a reduction, because if you look at the disparity in the pricing in the sub-region, it's quite outrageous. We've been cheated for a very long time. I'm happy Sam George has taken over this bold initiative just to ensure that there's a slash down, so that at the end of the day, Ghanaians will be a bit relieved. With the recent reduction in the dollar and the prevailing economic situation on the ground, I think something needs to be done. But over the years, some of these multinational companies come and take advantage, because there is a laxity in terms of how our laws operate, and they take advantage of it. So I think this is an opportunity, but it shouldn't be seen as an individual between and a company, but rather there should be systems in place that should spell out what has to be done. The pricing modalities, there are structures in place that deals with some of these things, so that at the end of the day, you might not be engaging directly with this sort of a banter here and forth. And I think we just have to resolve this issue once and for all.
Fatih, there was a statement earlier when this came up from the minority side in Parliament. In fact, their main concern was about caution, because you don't want to create ruffle investor sentiments out there, because a lot of people are watching, those who want to invest and all of that. But the minister is also concerned about pricing for Ghanaians. So where should our priority lie, actually?
Good morning, Blessed, and also to Nana. I'm always excited to see my sister meeting Ivan for the first time, and also to your distinguished studio guests. I believe at every point in time, and also probably over the period, my position on some of these issues has shifted, also because I was a minister. And if there is any lesson, especially for the young ministers, is to understand how to navigate diplomacy. A lot of results have been achieved and can continue to be achieved without any public spectacle, without reducing delicate conversations to social media banter, or who gets the most clicks, or who gets the most attention out of it. It is not an ego thing. If we have a situation within the information space, and at the time as information minister, I need resolution, I will not put camera on it. It is important to engage in a lot of behind-the-scenes negotiations to ensure that, one, you have investor confidence in the state. You would assume that this is just a banter between DStv and Sam George. It is not. Any other person seeking to bring FDI to Ghana will be looking at how Ghana does business, how the country treats investors. Are we compliant with the GIPC Act? Are we compliant with the Free Zones Act? Is there some semblance of independence in terms of management, in terms of private entities for their operations? What are we running? Is this a socialist state? Are we seeking monopoly? over free markets. What is the direction of government? And when there is confusion and investors don't have clarity on some of these matters, they do not want to put their money in any country. Someone will say, no, but he's fighting for Ghanaians. We are not fighting for investors. There is a reason why, over the period, if you look at all the principles in economic law and energy law, that establishes a basis for North-South relationship and also the relationship between investors and sovereign. Because for developing countries and lower middle income countries, you need investments. You need people to pump revenue and set up capital into the system. You need them to. No, that's not what I'm saying. Right. You need them to create jobs, create opportunities for the young people of the country. MultiChoice employs. Probably there is a whole value chain that with the benefit of someone with expertise or some academic writing of a sort, throwing spotlight on it, we would understand the scale of their investment. But I am saying that we should bear in mind that some of these negotiations can happen and results can be achieved without necessarily having a social media banter and without putting camera on it to show who is right. I believe if there was something like that, and at the end of the day, the minister is able to communicate that we have successfully negotiated with MultiChoice, this is where we are today, people will be excited. But the back and forth, allegations, denial, we've agreed to this, we haven't agreed to that, it's a spectacle that I am saying is not good for the image of a country like Ghana that is seeking to attract a lot of FDIs.
One more issue before I bring in Anaya. The point about experience, of course, you served as, at some point, as Minister responsible for information. Has pricing always been the concern, or there's been more with regards to, the operations of DStv?
During our time, issues of communication, as in telecommunication and network and cybersecurity, were all under the Ministry of Communication. And in instances like this, you may not even see the minister publicly engage in the process. The NCA is a regulator, is a key player established by statutes. They have their management. NCA has revoked licenses without having any minister come out to fight any company. And if they are able to establish basis for it after failed negotiations, it happens. But the situation whereby it appears the minister has taken over, for the minister responsible for his supervisory role, his policy direction, reflecting the vision of the president, has taken upon himself the role of the regulator, the role of everything in the sector, and being the one to publicly exchanging words and arguing and throwing allegations about, I think it's not good for the image of the country. And I would advise my brother Sam George that some of these things, it is not just enough that we have public spectacles. In the interest of the country and the public, we should have some behind-the-scenes conversations. And at this point, I believe it will get to a time probably they will escalate the issue to the presidential level for them to engage leaders to prevail to see how
in fact,
they can resolve the matter.
That's why I want to hear from Nanaya, because you are at the presidency. Sam George announced last night after MultiChoice came out that, look, he's proceeding to shut down DStv. Will the president intervene? Is it time for the president to come in and to say, well, let prevail? Yeah.
But you forgot to say that I was the former general secretary of CPP.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
very important.
We always have to state that.
Yes.
Yeah, on the record.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, good morning to your cherished. I'm excited to meet the young ones.
Yeah.
Yes, good morning to you all. And good morning to my sister. I miss you. Opposition is doing you well. And
By
good
the
morning.
grace of God.
And good morning to my dear. You see, I'm listening to Fati talking nicely, but the point is that you see, to be escalated to the presidency. What has happened in the presidency concerning DStv?
Oh, no, the need for the president to come in and
But I am saying that what has happened in the presidency concerning DStv? DStv has been disconnected in the presidency because of pricing.
Oh.
All offices in the presidency, including the president's office, we are not watching DStv because of cost.
So what do you watch then?
We watch the local TV, the television, free to air. Yes. We are not watching because of cost, because of price. I disagree with Fati. See, Fati is talking about international economic law. That is book. You see, that one is in book. You learn it to pass an exam practically. We should let the investors know that this is Ghana. You cannot go anywhere and do what you like. Bless, do you understand me? There should be a dichotomy and a balance between what the investor can do as an investor, getting his or her money, repatriating their capital and their profits, and also dealing with Ghanaians. We might have a free market situation, but it does not mean that Ghanaians should be treated anyhow. MultiChoice that we are talking about, what kind of service are they rendering to us? The premium is almost 1,000 Ghana cedis. The premium. So they have different segments. They have sports, they have films, they have Africa Magic, they have Aquaba Magic, that is the Ghana channel. They have rocks, they have the French channels, they have the Chinese channels. But I am saying that, meaning that they have segmented it to satisfy the need of every customer. But I am saying that watch DStv, repetitions, old films. One program can be repeated 3-4 times.
But it is a paid channel, so if that's the case, you don't like the service, you don't go in for it, isn't it? It's as simple as that.
That is the point, but I'm saying that most people have gone in for it because of the football. Me, in my home, I wish I could just disconnect it. But the football aspect, the men in my home want the football. So most people go for it because of the football, the men, the homes. Now even women are into the football. Do you get me? That is the attraction. Me, I prefer Netflix. Netflix is cheaper. It has a wide range of modern films, new films. But DStv is expensive, and their product, I've said it and I'll say it again, their product is not fit for purpose. When you take out the football aspect, all of the programs, me, I watch TLC a lot, you see repetitions.
But why can't government just engage MultiChoice?
But they don't engage. You see, nobody is talking the historical. When this whole business started, Sam George, the NCA started it. Then the minister came in. It was very cordial. You didn't find him coming out to talk the way maybe people think he's talking. But he's passionate about the issue. Do you know how many complaints have gone to him? Me, I thought that the first time that the presidency decided to cut DStv, it should have been a cue to them. Because if you are in a country as an investor and the presidency decide not to use your product, what does it mean? It should have been a cue for them to understand that there is a problem. And you see, when you are in a sovereign state, you need to succumb to the rules and regulations and actions of that sovereign state. The fact that we need investors does not mean that we should allow anything to happen. No.
Do you like what's going on social media?
I haven't watched. I'm not a social media.
Because some George is on X posting, MultiChoice is also doing same.
Why should MultiChoice, if this is a sovereign nation, and you are coming to do investment, you are getting money. So if they are not making any profits, then they should just say that you are worrying us, we are folding up. The fact that they are still here means that there's some kind of benefit that is inuring to their activity. So why don't you also calm down and say, this is your country, I am here. Do you get me? This is what you are saying. I might not like the way you said it, but there might be a reason why you said it.
There are some people who accuse government of playing politics with this because you feel that, well, a lot of people are on board with you on this. It's time to bully.
It's got nothing to do with politics. There's no bullying in here. This is our country. I mean, we should start understanding what this Ghana is. And we should start understanding what this color is. This color is Ghana. You, me, Fati, everybody here, we are Ghana. So if you come around and you are doing business and we say that we are, then it means that any investor can come and do whatever they like. Me, I worked in investment promotion for a very long time, GIPC free zones, before I came into energy regulation. Do you get me? The investor has to go according to rules and regulations. But apart from the rules and regulations that we have, do you get me? That is steeped in law. We also have to look at the social aspects of whatever they do. It is very, very important. And in utility regulation and in tariffs, we call something a decision variable. A decision variable is where you look at all the social factors. You don't only look at the economic factors. So this is the decision variable that Sam George is trying to bring out with NCA. He didn't do this. And you see, NCA is under the Ministry of Communications. And for me, anything Ghana, we have to look at it. I do not think that Sam George just got up one day and said, DStv, go, or DStv, reduce your... There must be some complaints that have gone to NCA.
Right.
Ghanaians have spoken. And do you know the numbers? Look, I know somebody who told me that people are not even, paying their subscription anymore. They cannot, because it is not cheap.
But Fatima, MultiChoice has also raised that concern that, look, there is piracy in the system, people are hacking our systems and all of that. We're not even as profitable as you think we are.
And that is why I was saying that Nana was talking about books. It's not about books. Nobody is against government or its assigns negotiating with any foreign company. We are saying that there is a way to go about this without jeopardizing the reputation of the country when it comes to doing business, because we need the business. Ghana doesn't have a lot of unicorns. Probably Dangote Cement, Nigeria, they may have. We have a very extensive entrepreneurial market. But if you look at the contribution to GDP, the actual numbers, you realize that we always need investments. So why not, if you have reservations about MultiChoice, and let me put this in context. MultiChoice is not just about DStv. MultiChoice has multiple products. Showmax, GoTV, DStv, and also at the various subscription categories. There may be reservations about premium. There may be reservations about compact or compact plus. But someone is also using GoTV and probably paying 90 cedis at the end of the month. So
but
if there is,
it's no longer
so if there is reduction in pricing, it's something that we'll always negotiate. Remember that last year, or barely a year ago, when we had this challenge with cable cuts in the sea when it comes to the fiber optic cables, the government had to step in and say, what are the alternative ways to get Ghanaians affordable internet at top speed? And that's how come we needed to quickly introduce Starlink into the Ghanaian market. And what that proliferation was supposed to do was to give alternatives in the market, to break the monopoly from probably a telco that has established or built a lot of network and has a substantial control over the market, and introduce an alternative that may eventually be cheaper. And I'm saying that it is not as if there is only one solution in this situation. If it's all about the subscriptions, because MultiChoice has enjoyed monopoly over a long period of time, you ask yourself, is there any company or product on the global market that we can introduce in the Ghanaian space to introduce competitiveness, to naturally beat down the price because there is no monopoly? Right. Is there a way even to negotiate in different directions? And you know there is an ongoing acquisition with DStv, so far as Canaplu is concerned. So there are tiers to the negotiation. And I'm saying do a lot of it behind the scenes, in camera, rather than social media banter. That's all I'm saying. Okay,
we'll be talking about the Chief Justice issue shortly, but I want us to close the chapter on this. Let me come to Ivan, get a few comments in the audience, and then we'll wrap up. Ivan, the point about football, of course, you analyze you analyze football sometimes. Yes. And so the EPL is the main selling point, as Nanaya is pointing to, for this DStv platform. Yeah. But a lot of voice will be mad if DStv is off right now.
Yes, but I think the issues are quite complex, and I think we need to look at the pricing modalities. That is very, very important, because if the price comes down, a lot of people are going to hook on, and I think it will be even a benefit to DStv. But the issue is that if you look at the pricing disparities, like I mentioned, what is being paid in Ghana is totally outrageous, and something has to be done about it. So the question is that how did we get here? that point to the structural weaknesses and the framework that I mentioned. You understand? Because very often some of these multinational companies come to Ghana because our laws are very weak. They come here, make the money, and they repatriate everything away because there are no systems and measures in place that says, hey, keep a certain percentage of your profit in this country for some time. They take everything away. So at the end of the day, if the GDP is red, they mention huge figures. But at the end of the day, all these monies leave the shores of this country in dollars, and they leave us impoverished. For me, that is the problem. So in looking at all these things, we need to tighten our laws just to make sure that some of these things is taken care of. And again, we must also be looking at breaking the monopoly because all this thing is brought about because of the tacit monopoly that MultiChoice enjoys.
So you feel we should just bring in more, as many as...
Yeah, exactly. So that when we break the monopoly, I think that will be down the price and there will be some sort of a competition among the players and people might want to introduce certain pricing modality just to ensure they woo customers. And I think these are some of the things that we need to do and ensure that...
But are they the only ones who can provide the football service, by the way?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There are several other companies out there, but maybe because of the price, and they may also look at the sub-region and look at how the market value, what they are going to gain at the end of the day. But I think as a state, the state can have some sort of engagement discussion with some of these companies and see if we can bring some of them, because that is the only way. If we allow MultiChoice to play whatever they are doing, obviously, I think the monopoly would obviously take to their advantage.
Kamal, you had wanted to come in with the point? Yes.
No.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Blessed, thank you for the opportunity. I think I agree with Nanaya Jantua on the repetition aspect of DStv. When you take the sports as aspects of DStv out, DStv is just a normal decoder that one can really testify to. I have stopped using mine for some time now, and because it's not wet, especially when the season is over. It becomes a wetless adventure. But where I also disagree with her has to do with where she said they are in our country, they have to conform with our laws, true. But what dawned on me was that, okay, we are in the same country where the government quotes its rates in dollars. American Embassy quotes a different rate. Could the government have used the same approach they're using on DStv today? Which I note, there's no way the government could have exacted some pressure on the embassy. So much as we agree that they have to conform, that's where I come to my honorable former minister, where we stress on the diplomacy aspect, because regardless of what is happening, we have to narrow it down to diplomacy. And I think it's high time our minister comes to the realization that he's a minister now. There are certain things, some of them take to social media. You ask yourself, if you write, because now you don't have your personal disposition where you can say, okay, I'm writing it in my capacity as some Honorable Sam George again. You are not a minister of state, so we should look at that angle. Lastly, what I want to add has to do with what Ivan just said. It does do one of the best options the minister could have done was to look for other competitors to come into the market. But naturally, the prices will be driven down. That is what we have to look at, other than having that straight banter with them. It doesn't inspire investor confidence. That is a fact.
Right. Maybe any takers? Yes, briefly. 30 seconds so we can get
all right, thank you very much. So this whole DStv MultiChoice issue is something that we really need to look into. All right, so somewhere last year, the reason why MultiChoice said they were increasing their price was because of the depreciation of the cedi. Right. Now, so somewhere around early this year, somewhere around April, May, thereabouts, we saw a very good appreciation of the cedi, yet they refused to reduce their prices. And I'm on social media almost all the time, and I've seen a lot of people complain about how DStv prices are very, very high. And because of that, they can't even register for football and a whole lot of stuff. So with that, we really need to look into that. But with the issue of Sam George always coming to social media, trying to go back and forth with some of these things, it's needless, it's unnecessary. You understand? I feel like they can do some of these things without really dirty their laundry on the media. So I think at this point, the presidency needs to come in. They should go on a negotiation table. At the end of the day, they'll all leave the table happy, so that this whole back and forth would, go away.
We'll go. Okay. Thank you. Any last takers before we go? I think there's a gentleman behind there. Yes. Yeah. Let's get your point then, please.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. My concern is about Honorable Sam George coming to the media.
Yeah.
Coming to the media to go back and forth. It's not a back and forth. He's trying to take Ghanaians along to know what is going on. Me, I'm sitting here. I might not know what is going on. You go and negotiate with MultiChoice, and at the end of the day, we don't know what is going on. But if he comes to the media and he enlightens us on what is going on, we have the fair idea that, oh yes, our minister is doing this to help us. I'm a football lover. If DStv sat down today, football is on break right now.
Yeah.
If they come back, I'll be bored. So it would be very good that MultiChoice take that time to reduce their prices and to benefit Ghanaians.
Right. Okay, thank you. So let's move into the next issue.
There's someone
else. Yes.
My take is that I think we should have a local station here, a TV station, because with the DStv, it's about the football aspect. That's what most of us do like about DStv. And if you're able to pay our TV license, if we enforce the Ghanaian citizens to pay the TV license, I think GTV can come in and telecast these football matches.
Okay, you want us to give the rights
to them, yeah.
I mean, that would be a lot.
No, if only we are paying. But I think we are not paying.
Yeah.
I think we are not paying. So if we are paying,
you want us to be?
Yeah, I want us to go there. Locally, we can just at least.
Yeah, but that's a good suggestion. We even increase the TV license. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
In future, we can look at cutting down some of the bonuses of the Black Stars to add up.
I see. That's another controversial one.